Start recording.
All right, cool. Get into it.
All right. Yo, we are back. This is Jeremy Sports Network coming to you live, and we are on the phone with UBF World Champion, Mr. Kingpin himself, Mr. Ring Maestro, Mr. Courtney Pennington. How you doing today, sir?
Yes. What's going on, Jay? What's going on?
Oh man, nothing much, brother. Nothing much, man. I appreciate you taking time. As this is fight week, and I know you've been preparing and training hard to get it in. How you feeling so far?
Oh yes, absolutely. We've been preparing like crazy. Feeling great, feeling good, confident, light on my feet, very conditioned, feeling perfect.
That's what's up. So I know you're getting ready to take on a guy in Steven Martin, who you've been waiting to take on. I believe you and him were getting ready to fight towards the end of last year. Am I correct?
Yes. September 28th. We were supposed to fight.
In September 28th.
Right, but there was a mishap. There was a medical mishap on mine. But I mean, they made it sound crazier than it was. New York, because of the insurance thing, because of the was it Richard Cologne incident. They made a bunch of new rules and regulations, added much more doctors, and I had Advil, towards a little bit before the fight because I had a headache. I wasn't gonna go into the fight with a headache, so I took an Advil. And getting checked out with the doctor, he asked me, what was, how was my day going? And I said, yeah, everything was good. Had a little headache earlier, took Advil, thought nothing of it. But he said, oh, Advil. Wait a minute, let me consult the other doctors. I'm not sure that's a good idea. And, they called the fight from there, And I thought it was all good because, I had no idea there was something wrong with that. I had to open my big mouth and, fight cancer because it's a blood thinner. What do you know?
Well, it's all good. I know this is unfinished business for you right here, taking on Steven Martinez. But do you think this is perhaps maybe your toughest opponent that you have faced throughout your professional career so far?
I mean, I want to say I think Devin Rodriguez is probably my toughest opponent thus far, but not sleep on Steven Martinez. He's still a willing opponent, very tough, battle tested. So I'm not sleeping on him at all. But I wouldn't say he's my best opponent. Nah, I think Devin still was my toughest.
Right. So is there anything that you have worked on specifically in this training camp to prepare for Martinez?
Yeah, well, not to let everything out of the bag,
right?
But we've been we always train specific to who we're going up against. I have a trainer in Mustafa Marconi. Very he's kind of under the radar, but man, he dissects opponents. I'm telling you. He dissects opponents, and with the sparring partners I have, I have one guy that's in the camp with me. You guys will hear from him very soon, Cameron Humphrey. But my coach does the dissecting, and Cameron Humphreys he does he acts as these opponents, and he's like a better version of them. So just like the Devin Rodriguez fight. He pretended to be Devin Rodriguez after my coach dissected him, and this is exactly what we did for this camp. He pretended to be Steven Martinez, a bigger Steven Martinez.
Right, because I was about to say, I seen you sparring with a couple of big guys on your Instagram, and I was like, oh yeah, champ, he ready to show some knockout power, taking on bigger opponents in sparring.
Yes, yeah, yeah. Because we all know this guy. It's no secret what he's doing. He's gonna come forward. He's gonna try to bring the pain. And all I gotta say is we are very well prepared for that. Very well prepared.
Well, let me ask you this, champ. Given the fact that he's from the Bronx and you're from Brooklyn, like, is it sort of like a rivalry that's going on between you and Martinez, kind of in a way, for the king of New York?
Low key is kind of like the Subway series of boxing, where you have like Brooklyn versus Bronx, kind of like Yankees versus the Mets. But at the end of the day, I have no bad blood towards them. It's just business in the ring. We'll leave all that other Brooklyn versus Bronx stuff for promotion. But it's all business. It's all business.
That's what's up. So recently, I know you were discussing your plans and not looking past Martinez, like you said. Because I know that you have just as much respect for Martinez as any other opponent that you will be facing throughout your career. But I know recently you would discuss your plans pretty much after this fight on who you would like to face to catapult you into the top 20 in the super welterweight division. Right. Is it any particular name so far that you and your manager have been looking at, in the future to take on, or is Martinez just one of those guys who maybe just is he going to be the one to catapult you into the top 20?
Well, I'm not too sure because he's not really ranked up there on the world ranking scale. Although he will bring me a little higher. But I think that we have to fight somebody in like top 20, maybe in the top 30s to catapult me up there further. I think I have a little bit more to prove after fighting Martinez, and I plan to do that. It's only forward and upwards from here.
Is it like any let's just say you land back in the bed and you just got this dream fight that's in your head, and it's a fight that maybe you've been thinking about having, throughout your whole entire career. Like what is that one fight that you think about, champ, when you may have want to face, whether it's a Floyd Mayweather or whether it's a whoever may be at the top of the division? Is it any specific names that you think about facing once you hit that top tier?
Well, although I do number one, after this fight, truth be told, I really want to go down to welterweight, 147. That's really first and foremost, because I think that I'm my height is I'm a little short for this division. I can use my height to my best ability, more advantage at 147, I believe. But to answer your question, one of my dream fights, I'm not gonna lie, is Israel Landy Lara. I think he's a tactician in the ring, a very smart fighter, and I like to challenge myself. I would love to fight him. I would love to fight him. I like how he moves. I know how to use the ring. I know how to cut off the ring. I think that'd be a great fight.
Oh man, that would be an awesome fight. What are your thoughts on Israel Landy Lara getting ready to take on Jared Swift Hurt? Do you think Lara is going to be able to outschool the young Jared Hurt, or is Hurt going to be able to pull it off and unify?
Man, that's a tough one to call, because the first thing I think of is when he fought Angulo, right? Angulo he came forward, and he didn't care about getting hit. And Hurd, he actually mentioned that, like on the Deontay Wilder card, they interviewed him. He actually mentioned he's going to be Angulo times 10. And the thing about it, he's a bigger Angulo and a younger Angulo that he faced at the time. And he's a young dog, so it's really going to be tough. He's going to have to use his feet. He's gonna have to use his sharp punching. But ultimately, although I think it'll be a tough fight, I think Lara will pull it off. But I really see it being a great fight, because as far as how the styles match up, there's gonna be some missiles going off, some bombs being thrown in that fight. I'm telling you.
Oh, it most definitely is. So you talking about moving to 147, and that's definitely a big time division right now, which you have the potential to be making a whole lot of money, and people are really going to start to know who real Courtney Pennington is. At 147, is it anybody who you want to put on notice at 147 that you're going to be coming after them once you move to that weight class? Because they haven't seen Kingpin.
Well, I don't want to get ahead of myself because first off, I gotta pay my dues first.
Right.
Not getting too big for my britches. Of course, I would like to fight the top guys, but I gotta fight my way up to that spot. So I really can't name the top name. Although I would love to fight Danny Garcia, I would love to fight maybe Brandon Rios first. Keith Thurman, whoever. I would love to fight them, but it's not realistic as of right now. I got to pay my dues a little more first. Right,
most definitely. So, go ahead, Champ.
What I would say is top 20. So people can see my skill because my skill is definitely growing. I didn't have much of an amateur career. I learned on the job. But one thing I am learning, each fight I'm getting better and better and better, and I think smart fighters win all, and I'm a smart fighter. I use my brain in the ring. That's my best punch is my brain. You know what I'm saying? So that's how we're gonna take over the division.
Oh, most definitely. So I got a question for you. What is it that you tell young fighters who, like you said, who really didn't have a deep amateur career, but they transition into the pros and they're starting their pro career? You were able to capture a world title without even having a deep amateur career, and you were still able to capture 2 world titles at that. How do you tell young fighters today who are growing up as young pros, what is it that they need to do in order to keep themselves, for one, motivated, 2, staying hungry and prepared, and 3, when they get the opportunity to take on tough opponents, what is it that they have to have in order to be able to complete the task? Because it's a lot of young talent that is out there who don't get an opportunity to have a long amateur career, but when they transition into the pros, it's something that's difficult for them. How do they make that transition?
Well, I'll say it's 2 things. It's 2 things you need. I'll sum it up to, and that's discipline and heart. Right.
Right.
I would say that anybody can learn this game. Anybody can learn it. It's nothing special, right? But it takes a certain type of person to last. Like that's why you need a heart, because I've came up with a lot of guys, a lot of talented guys out of Brooklyn. Brownsville, Brooklyn area is a breeding ground for talent, whether it's basketball, football, whatever. And a lot of really good guys. But like where the heart comes into play, it's all good when you're beating on somebody. You're going from tournament to tournament, whooping on people, and once again, the amateur is the points business. Okay, so like you're not really getting hurt in that points business. Once you step up into the pro rankings, now that's the hurt business. People are coming out to kill you, and people do die in the ring. So, heart really plays a factor. In order, my father used to tell me something, and excuse my language here.
Oh, go
ahead. He says, in order to get some man, you got to bring some man, right? So that means if I want to hit you with anything significant, I have to bring myself through that zone. and I can't be afraid to go through that zone and hit you. You know, so that heart really plays a big role, and discipline as far as, man, this has to be your life, especially when you didn't have, you know, too much experience in the amateurs. You know, you have to be a student of the game. You got to study film. You have to listen to what your coach is teaching you. You know, you have to learn and learn every day. You know, you got to improve on your defensive, your technicals. You know, because once again, you learn on the job just like I did, and you have to have resilience as well. You know, because maybe because you didn't have the experience, you may take an L. So many fighters take an L, and because of the lack of heart, they just quit. They could be talented, you know, whatever, but they quit because of that one loss. You got to keep going, you know. And I think one of my missions is to inspire the people coming up, and not only for boxing, but like for everything in life, because I feel that boxing is a microcosm of life. You know, once you fall, you must get back up. You're gonna take L's in life. You're gonna get hit hard, but you got to get up and you got to keep going. You know, that's what I sum it up to.
Oh, most definitely. But that is just something that's good, because, you know, I run into a lot of young fighters, especially here in Atlanta, Georgia, some young local fighters, and I want to see those guys be successful and be able to get to the next level. And within doing so, you know, I just hope that they'll be able to bounce back. You know, maybe even after taking the L, they're still able to bounce back and put themselves in position to be successful. But Champ, that is exactly everything it is that you said is exactly dead on point for young fighters, and that's just something, you know, that I was hoping to get out of you, is to have a message for young fighters who are up and coming, who are tuning in, to be able to understand what it takes in order to get to the next level, and what you have to do once you make it there.
Oh yeah. You know, everything seems easy from the outside. You know, once you take part, you got to have that resilience, that discipline to keep going. You know, got to.
Oh yes, sir. So, what is the one thing that's in your phone right now, playlist, that you like to tune into and listen to? Whether it's, you know, do you have a specific artist that you listen to get you prepared and pumped up for a fight, or is it just a random playlist on Spotify or Pandora?
Oh man, I listen to trap, baby. A lot of trap music.
Right. Is it a particular artist you like?
Migos. You know, I'm a little. You know, I'm 31 years old, man, but I'm young. I'm young-hearted, man. Like I listen to a lot of young people's music. With Tekashi 6ix9ine, he's fresh out of Bed-Stuy. Like I said, Migos, Rick Ross, all those trap artists. Gucci Mane, yeah, man. I listen to all that.
Oh yeah, that's what's up. See, you done named a couple of guys who are down south, you know, from where I'm from.
Oh,
so
yeah.
Hey, that's crazy. You know, we king of the trap music down here.
Yeah. We realized that. We realized that, man.
Oh man, yeah, Champ. So I appreciate you taking time out to chop it up with me and be a part of the show. It's always good to have you. Always good to have you, and I know you're getting prepared to take on Steven Martinez and what looks to be a wonderful fight. Could you give everybody your social media so that they will know where to follow you, and if the fight may be live streamed, where they can catch it on live stream?
Okay, sure. Okay, so on Instagram, that's Ring Maestro. That's RingMaestro, Ring Maestro. And I'm Courtney Pennington on Facebook. The fight will be streamed live. So if you follow me on Facebook, you could I'll put the link up. Just click the link, boom, you're right there. It'll be Face Fight Live. That's the name of it. But I'll put the link right up there on my page on Facebook.
Oh man,
for those
champ.
who tune in.
Well, I appreciate you taking time out your day once again to chop it up with me, and I wish you nothing but the best of luck on on Friday night. I know you're going to do a wonderful job, and we look to have you, after your fight, so you could come
All
on
right,
and
thank
give
you,
your
my brother.
thoughts
I appreciate it.
and let us know, how you put in that great work.
All right, brother. I appreciate you, man. Thanks for everything. Thanks for having me.
Thank you too, champ, man. You have a wonderful evening. Talk to you soon.
All right. You too, brother.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was none other than Mr. Courtney Pennington himself. It's always good to talk to Mr. Pennington because when I talked to him, I know it was last September, right? He was getting ready to take on Steven Martinez, and in that fight that he was getting ready to take on Steven Martinez, man, Champ told me he worked on a whole lot of things, to prepare him for that fight. And like he said, him taking an Advil before the fight and saying that he took the Advil, because usually now, it's like, well, damn, I don't need to say that I took an Advil because, the boxing commission is going to perhaps maybe stop the fight or whatever the case may be. And they did that night. And I'm talking about, it was the main event and it was live on air when they stopped the fight. And I think they only had like 3 or 4 fights on that fight card that night, given the fact that they canceled the main event, which was Pennington and Martinez, and now we're getting to get that fight again, and that looks to be a great fight, man. Steven Martinez, man, the guy is 18-3 with 13 KOs straight out of the Bronx, and Courtney Pennington is a really good fighter. His last 3 fights, he's been doing a phenomenal job. In his first fight, he took on a fighter, and he won the UBF World Championship. His second fight, he took on Devin Rodriguez, made easy work of him, winning that fight by unanimous decision, and he won his last fight as well. And so he is trending upwards right now in the super welterweight division. But at the same time, with Courtney Pennington, he's been talking about moving down to 147 pounds, which he's going to have the height, and given the fact that he's fighting at 154 and he's able to still make 147, this makes him a threat right now in the division of 147 if he decides to make it there. But like he said, he's going to pay his dues and move and continue to move on in the game. But for young fighters who are listening and tuning in, you have to understand, even though you may take a loss early in your career, or 2 or 3, we see it right now with Tevin Former. Even though you may take a loss early in your career, you have to make sure and understand that if you stay disciplined and you continue to work hard and put forth the effort in order to get to the next level, it's going to happen for you. It's going to happen for you. And I see it definitely happening and taking place with Courtney Pennington, man. Ring Maestro, he's my dude. I met him for the first time on last year. It was probably, I think it was March the 5th or something like that in Brooklyn, when we was in Brooklyn and he was eating at the Cheesecake Factory or whatnot, and I was able to see him, meet him for the first time, and we established a relationship with each other, and it's been good ever since, and he's been on a winning streak ever since. So shouts out to him. I appreciate him coming onto the show. Thanks for everybody who's tuned in, and please like and share the show. It helps with the visibility of the show. And we're going to keep it popping this weekend. It is fight week. We're coming back with a flagship show. It was going to be a flagship show on tonight, but we was able to just do the live interview with Courtney Pennington on tonight. But we will be coming back with a flagship show on Wednesday. And then, everybody say, and then we're going to be coming with our pre-fight show on Thursday night, given the fact the weigh-in of Courtney Pennington. And then Friday, we're going to do post-fight of Courtney Pennington versus Steven Martinez. And we're going to be right back at you again on Saturday for the Amir Rahman fight, who is going to be taking on a really good opponent as well. So, hey, guys, stay tuned, man. This is Jeremy Sports Network, JSN Boxing. We are on the move. We are on the go. We taking off in 2018. You got a lot of big time fights coming your way. And as a fight fan, you can't help but be thankful. Be thankful for what it is that we're getting right now in the sport of boxing. We're trending upwards, and we're going to be moving with the movement. So this is Jeremy Sports Network, and I hope everybody have a wonderful evening. I'm signing out. Peace.